Perth, Western Australia. Today, let's explore the city on another self-guided walking tour. This heritage trail is about the journey of Perth from its early days to becoming a lively city. We'll see important buildings, hear stories from the past about how the white people developed Perth into the city it is today. This walk is called Icons of Influence, and it was created by the City of Perth's tourism division. This 2 hours walk will let us see key buildings and the historic Stirling Gardens, established in 1830. Perth City was based on the vision of John Septimus Roe, who was Perth's first town planner. Roe started designing the city in 1829, with St George Terrace as its heart, near the Swan River. Now let's start our walk at the first location. Number 1 Perth Town Hall. Built with convict labour, the Perth Town Hall opened in 1870. Richard Roach Jewell and James Manning designed it to be both practical and decorative. Early on, the building served many purposes, from a market to a firefighting station. It even housed camels brought by explorer Ernest Giles in 1875, creating a stir among locals. The Perth Town Hall is still a central spot for events today. From here, we will make our way towards the corner of Barracks Street and St George Terrace. The central government offices are on St George Terrace, across from Stirling Gardens. Number 2 Central Government Offices. The central government offices include 3 buildings. There is the original Post Office, Lands Department, and Titles Office. They were built in the late 1800s to keep government departments close together. Here you'll also find Point Zero, the point from which all distances in Perth are measured. I found the interior of the central government offices to be very beautifully refurbished. This is also a great place to get some breakfast and visit the restrooms. After some rest, we walk east along St George Terrace. We go up the steps to St George's Cathedral. Number 3 St George's Cathedral. St George's Cathedral is a beautiful church that was completed in 1888. This cathedral is based on the English Gothic Revival style of architecture by Edmund Blackett. Sadly, Blackett never visited this site and passed away before it was completed. This is the main church, or Mother Church, for Perth's Anglican diocese. Many prominent Perth residents attended services here. Because this cathedral is so beautiful, I ended up spending a longer time here than I had intended. Baptism is a Christian ceremony that marks the start of faith. Water is poured from this font in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, often for babies with their families present. Built in 1993 and updated in 2011, this church organ is one of the finest in Australia. Made from Tasmanian oak, it has 48 stops and over 3,500 pipes. This statue from Bavaria shows St. George, a Roman soldier who converted to Christianity, in a famous scene where he slays a dragon. Made of Normandy stone from France, the pulpit is used by the clergy to give sermons during services. Created as a memorial after World War I, this soldier's chapel displays flags and military items, honouring those who served. This stone altar with a marble top was set up in honour of Sir Frederick Barley, a well-known figure in the church's history. Used for Holy Communion, Eucharist, this nave altar is central to Anglican worship, symbolising the Last Supper of Jesus. Reserved for the choir and clergy, the chancel hosts Sunday morning and evening singing services. This 19th century lectern, shaped like an eagle, is used for Bible readings. After a lovely exploration of the cathedral, it was time to move on. Next to the cathedral, we will see Burt Memorial Hall. The Burt Memorial Hall is built by a family to remember two sons lost in World War I. The Burt family is a big part of Perth's history, with one family member even serving as Chief Justice. Next, we walk down the steps back to St George Terrace. Number 4, the Deanery. Built in 1859, this Gothic-style building was the home of Perth's first Dean. It also sits on a historically significant site that was once home to public stocks, a whipping post, and even the area's first jail. Here, the Noongar leader, Midgeguru, was executed in 1833, marking a time of rising tensions between local indigenous groups and settlers. From the Deanery, we go back to St George Terrace. We cross at the Pier Street traffic lights to view Government House. Number 5, Government House. Completed in 1864, Government House has hosted Western Australia's governors since Perth's early days. Today, it is still the primary residence of Western Australia's governor. The surrounding gardens are open to the public on certain days. On open days, we might get a chance to see the grand building from the inside. To reach the next location, we walk west along St George Terrace to the entrance of Stirling Gardens at the corner of Barracks Street. Number 6, Stirling Gardens and Old Courthouse. Stirling Gardens has been a green space since the 1830s. Here we will see a statue of explorer Alexander Forrest. Perth's oldest building, the Old Courthouse, which opened in 1837, is also located inside Stirling Gardens. The courthouse served as a court, school and community centre in its early years. From the Old Courthouse, we exit Stirling Gardens and cross to the Esplanade at the traffic lights. Number 7, Weld Club. The Weld Club was founded in 1871 as a gathering place for Perth's influential men. These rich white settlers would meet here to discuss important matters and relax in style. From the Weld Club, we walk up to St George Terrace and turn left. We continue west along St George Terrace past William Street. Number 8, Newspaper House. In 1932, a new newspaper house was built, and today it's part of a dining and shopping area. The West Australian newspaper started here, dating back to 1833 as the Perth Gazette. From the newspaper house, we continue west along St George Terrace to the Old Perth Boys' School. Number 9, Perth Boys' School. Built by convicts in 1854, Perth Boys' School was one of the first schools in Perth. Its church-like design was meant to encourage discipline among students. From the Perth Boys' School, we continue west along St George Terrace. Number 10, Forrest House Replica. Hidden within the Forrest Centre business building is a replica of Alexander Forrest's original home on St George Terrace. Forrest was a successful businessman and leader, known for his influence in Perth. From the Forrest House replica, we walk back out to St George Terrace and proceed to the next stop on this trail. Number 11, Bishop's House. This was the home of Bishop Hale, Perth's first Anglican bishop, who arrived in 1858. Today, the building is an upscale restaurant, but it once housed Hale and his family. From Bishop's House, we continue up the hill along St George Terrace to Barracks Arch. Number 12, Barracks Arch. The arch is all that remains of the pensioner barracks, which housed ex-soldiers who guarded convicts. Built in 1866, the building was mostly demolished in the 1960s, leaving only the arch as a reminder. From Barracks Arch, we make a U-turn and head east back to St George Terrace again. Number 13, the Cloisters. Built by Bishop Hale in 1858, this school educated the sons of Perth's elite. As such, the Cloisters has a deep history connected to many influential leaders of Western Australia. From the Cloisters, we continue east along St George Terrace. Number 14, Trinity Church. Richard Roach Jewell, who also designed Perth Town Hall, created the Trinity Church buildings. The Trinity Church has served as a spiritual and social centre for Perth residents for more than 130 years. I especially like the lunchroom, which is opened on weekdays, where we can bring our own food and also get affordable beverages in the city. I hope this walking tour gave you a unique look at Perth's history through the white settlers and the places that shaped it.